Hello, I'm Brian from the 2 Clock Database. Today we have the NixieTherm from NixieKits.eu. It's not a clock at all, it's actually a thermometer. It uses an IN9 bar graph tube to display the temperature, so let's take a closer look at it. If you watched my reviews before, you know I like to use a standard relative size comparison, and here it is, the can of Diet Coke. Let's get this out of the way and do a quick walkthrough. This thermometer has both Fahrenheit and Celsius readout, in addition to the nice little Mr. Nixie logo at the top. It's got RGB LEDs under both sides. Each one kind of fades at its own color, independent of the other one. This is the bar graph neon tube. The height corresponds to the temperature. On the top, or excuse me, front of the clock here, we have, it says NixieTherm. It's actually cut all the way through the plastic. I don't know if you can quite see that. On the underside, we've got a little yellow pot here, and this is used to manually adjust the temperature up or down. These come pre-calibrated, but if you need to tweak it, you certainly have that option. On the back here, we have a micro USB port. Let's get that in focus. There's no data connection to your computer, but it is used for power, so you don't have to have another wall wart. You can just simply plug this into the back of your computer. And lastly, we have a little power switch which does pretty much everything that you would expect it to. So let's just do a little power-up comparison here. Turn these guys on. I really like this effect when you turn it on, watching the mercury rise in this. It's worth noting that these have been on for about an hour before I started filming. When you first get these, or when you first turn them on after they've been off for a while, the neon actually just hovers right around here. That's perfectly normal. It just takes a little bit of time to get up to temperature. One other thing worth pointing out is, I don't know if you can tell this in the video, this display is actually a little more purple than this one. This one's a 100% neon tube. This one actually has argon on it. The only difference is that this has a slightly different color, but they both operate and respond to temperature in exactly the same way. Now, of course, this is also sold as a kit. A lot of people have been buying it that way. So let's open it up and walk through and see what's inside. I'd like to point out that it comes with a USB cable. It's a nice little touch that I like. Most of you probably have these laying around, but just in case you don't, here's a spare one. It comes with the base enclosure. Let's just pull it out. It's already stacked in the right configuration. Also includes a nice little warning label. Here we have, let's be careful here. We have the nice scale and the unused tube to go with it. Keep these guys over here. I don't want to damage that. We have a package with all of the individual components in it. Let's just quickly walk through those. Don't worry, they're in individual bags. We have the capacitors, sockets, we have some pots and switches, more capacitors, some mounting hardware, some resistors. It's also got the nice red printed PCB here. It looks very nice, very high quality. And then lastly, if I can get it out of here, we've got a very nice printed manual. It's very clear, plenty of steps and nice photos to go along with it. Also included, I want to point out here, is a nice schematic. So if you want to learn from this, you can certainly see how the design works. So all in all, it looks like a pretty straightforward kit. I really like it. It's pretty cool. One last thing that I really want to point out here that I think is really cool. You can't tell just by looking at it, but there's no microcontroller inside. There's no PIC or Arduino or something like that reading the thermistor and adjusting the display. This is 100% analog. And most people will look at it and never know the difference, but it definitely adds a nerd credibility factor to this design that wouldn't be there if it used a completely digital circuit. So here are my final thoughts on the device. You look at it and you know what it does. It doesn't need any explaining. It's a very intuitive design. Obviously it's not filled with mercury, but it's filled with neon. And as far as I can tell, this is the only gadget that uses these linear readout bar graph tubes like this. It's a very cool design. The fact that you can buy it and assemble it yourself, or for I think €15 or more, buy one fully assembled, means that it appeals to both the hobbyists and the people who just want to plug it in and have it work. If you put it on your desk, everyone knows what it does, but no one has seen anything quite like this before. It'll definitely get some attention. It's a cool design. Go check it out at NixieKits.eu.